Okay.
So, Sandy, you know on agile concepts, or you want me to go through?
If you don't mind, would you go through, please? Thank you.
Yeah. So you know this Agile Alliance, right? Like 17 thought leaders came by, and then we have a lot of new people today. So Agile Alliance, like 17 thought leaders came by in the industry. They started the Agile movement. You know that, right? What happened was everybody went to Utah, like Skybridge Lodge. There they met, and they thought, doing the waterfall way or whatever may be the existing process is actually troubling them very much. Then they felt, why don't you do something? Because all these people, like all these people who are actually part of this thing, right? Like Ken Beck, Mike, Ward Cunningham, Martin Fowler, Ron Jeffries, right? All these people are actually they are actually framework guys. Quinn Swaber, Jeff Sutherland, right? Scrum was done by them, right? Ken Beck was extreme programming, right? So all they thought is, okay, why don't we have a commonality? Why don't you have a best practices from various frameworks, and let's create an umbrella of that. So that's where the Agile umbrella has formed. So Agile Alliance has formed. Below that, in the Agile umbrella, all these things came together, like Scrum, Kanban, XP. Sorry, Kanban was actually late entry. Extreme programming, a lot of other things were actually came in, like DSDM, Crystal, all other frameworks came. And Aruna Moise, like you want to tell about what is a manifesto all about? Like even Seetal also.
Sure. Manifesto is about the four major values and 12 principles that is involved while adapting Agile. So Agile is basically a methodology which is overall uh, might be an overall look of how we need to adapt Agile, and there are several frameworks under Agile. So this Agile Manifesto was actually, as said by Ravi, it was developed by these 17 people who initially formed the Agile Manifesto.
Yes. So Sandy, any questions here? Like, have you gone through Agile Manifesto earlier?
Yeah, that was a couple of years ago. So I think this is quite kind of good as a refreshing memory. So yeah.
Okay. So basically what we are focusing is like, let's go through that. Individual interactions over processing tools. So I think when they talk about this, they are actually talking about the waterfall and other frameworks. What was happening is you have a requirement capture, then you wait there, right? The requirement capture happens, you wait there, and then you need to get a buy-in from stakeholders to move into the next set of things like coding, right? And then from coding, you need to get a sign off from the people, and then it will move to testing, right? So what is happening is you have a longer life cycles, right? Yeah, Sitaram, can you go on mute? So
yeah,
the longer life cycles are happening. So that's why it is like a too much of process thingy going on here, right? There too much of things are going on. That's why what they said is, let's keep a rest to the process and tools, right? I have to do entire documentation before I move forward, all that, right? Instead of that, what we say, we do the Sitaram. I don't know. Can you go on mute actually? So that's why that's why you focus more on interactions with all the people, right? we look at here, we focus on interaction with everybody, right? Maybe we have common call, common sync up call, try to do short note everything rather than, I pass on the documents to Aruna pass it on to Sitaram pass it to Sandy, right? All the things will be avoided. So you don't need to go with various checks and balances. So you eliminate most of the unwanted documentation, do as minimum as possible. You try to remove the blockers, right? And we are actually doing just enough documentation. So that's what I think this manifesto covers. It's a best kind of whatever it is coming out from the entire all the frameworks we are getting it. Maybe I can think of a best practices from all the frameworks, right? This is one of things like individual interactions over process and tools, right? And we talk about the collaboration with everybody, right? And one more thing is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. So what is contract negotiation here? Like anybody, Sital, can you answer the question? Sital, what is a contract negotiation here? Aruna?
That is basically any requirement documents or whatever we are already having, the plan that we already have with the customer.
Yes.
Those are all contract negotiation. So it is in Agile, we better go for then and there communication and customer collaboration than going for plan that already had and we are just going to follow it throughout the waterfall model and all.
Yeah. So I think you said it right. Requirement documents like SOWs and all, right? Rather than focusing on the more on SOW, more on the requirements thing. What we focus is like, let's say I get a 1,000-page document. I used to work for a company called Canon. So they send me like 1,000 pages of specifications, right? Then I was asked to do everything. So there is no priority on any other thing. Here what we are saying is okay, it's okay, we know this is required, but we need a priority, right? In the priority side, like let's say login screen, then after that welcome screen, after that get a payment gateway, whatever it is actually, we are actually again collaborating with the customer, and customer is actually telling us, okay, this is what you have to do first, and then second, like that, right? So that's like customer is always in place. Customer is there who is telling you like this is what I need to do that this can be go to doing state, then it can be done state. So basically he'll tell you what to do, and then we are doing it. In the doing phase, you will also come and tell us what is working, what is not working. Then he will also sign off saying that okay, now this feature is done. Maybe here if it is not working properly, what he can say, okay, now that this is not working, let's move this back to the product backlog, right? That is what happening. So we focus more on the customer collaboration of everything than working on the requirement side, working on the bulky requirement side. Maybe we take a piece of it, we deliver in the first sprint, second sprint we take another piece, like this, the life continues. So again, respond to change over following plan. Like I said, Sandy, like you have seen this, right? What is this diagram? Anyone can answer this?
Is it like a Gantt chart?
Yeah, Gantt chart, correct. Yeah, so yeah, like in the PMP we used to do that, right? So I don't know. You are in the industry for a very long time. So so whatever we used to plan, it was never being fulfilled. Or because if this block is not there, if this is not working, then entire block is at a stage. There was a time in 2005, I was asked to maintain this chart. It's a kind of project plan, MPP, right? Microsoft project plan.
What chart is that, Ravi?
This is called Gantt chart. It's a Microsoft project plan. You heard that, right? Microsoft project plan. Olden days, we used to give a plan. We used to create, dependent on who is dependent on what. So then who is going to deliver what, This is like we used to have a yearly calendar. but it is to change in a week only, because something is missing. It's very difficult. As a project manager, I used to go every week. I used to go and sit with them and update it and send it to them, and nothing went as per the plan. So it shows me that planning is bad. Okay, planning is not bad, but planning over the year is a bad, right? Let's plan for a week. It's working, okay. It's not working, change it, change the plan. Like that, we need to go. We need to go back and forth. So here what we are doing is we are responding to change or following a plan. Let's say you are traveling from Chennai to Hyderabad. Like there is a detour is happening. You cannot say, okay, this is a map, I have to go like this, right? You have to maybe take a detour and go all that things. So you are welcoming the change of the requirements even late in the development. You have started the journey, but because of the conditions, you have to change the route. You have to detour. Maybe you have to stop somewhere. Your kids are hungry. You have to go and eat. It's not that, okay, I have to reach Hyderabad to Chennai to Hyderabad in, let's say, 15 hours. I don't know the distance actually. Let's say 15 hours or whatever it is, right?
Ravi, I have a question. I get what you're saying, that we have to sometimes plan on a weekly basis rather than like looking at it for one whole year. But from the budget point of view, do we not need to plan that, okay, it's going to take us 12 months, and if it takes us 12 months, it's going to cost us X, Y, Z?
Okay.
Is that?
Yeah, actually, that is okay. What we are doing, let's say, you are planning, like your whole roadmap is there, right? Whole roadmap is there. And sometimes it is very difficult to predict what goes in, what goes out. What I say is like, I will deliver Amazon website, right? That is what my goal. Let's say I get a $5 million for that website. I'll say that, okay, now, okay, my approximate estimation is, let's say this will take 10,000 story points. I'm just guessing it out. 10,000 story points. It will cost me like $5 million. Let's say 10,000 story points. Let's say we get $1,000 million, whatever it is, just for the sake of example, right? So what we say is, rather than going by these requirements, what we say is, okay, let's say we have consumed less than 9,000 stories, right? For 9,000 stories, that is a 10,000 whatever it is, whatever the number. What we say is, because we consume so much, we have 100. Let's say you have 100 story points left, right? What we say is, for 100 story points, the budget is like this, right? So that's why you do. I think that will go to the estimation part. But however, we don't want to plan too much, because what happens is we don't know what is happening in the next week, right? Maybe what happens during Corona, the all flights, we invested too much into the all flights and whatever the travel industry, but we have to pull out that money. It's not that we always had a plan, but we have to change the plan. Otherwise, the yearly budgets, 5 years plans is going to be, is not going to work anyway. Like, I can plan for 2 weeks. What happens after 2 weeks, we don't know what is happening, right? That's what it is. Any questions?
No, thank you. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, Aruna and
I'm good, Ravi.
yeah, Sitaram, right? Sitaram only, right? Yeah. Any questions? Okay. So respond to change over following plan. I think respond to change over following plan. One more thing is conditions apply. It's not that we respond like, say, we are middle of some sprint, middle of the activities. We don't want to drop all things and actually take up the change. We'll just evaluate, is it worth taking the change or not? That's what it is. So in Scrum, we just do after every sprint, we are going to review it, whether the change is required or not, then only we'll implement. It's not that blindly whenever somebody says, okay, you change this slide, I won't be doing that, right? All the things are happening. So I'm talking about a few values, 4 values rather: individual interactions or processing tools, customer collaboration over changing contract negotiation, responding to change over following plan. And one more thing I have not written, but working software over comprehensive documentation. Let's say you go to a builder, after 6 months, he's still working on the documentation. You will say, boss, I wanted the house badly. I don't want too much of documentation. Let me walk through whatever you have delivered. And maybe I'll say, okay, I don't want cupboard here, I want cupboard there. All that things, as we go on, I keep on changing as a customer. So that's why 4 values. It's not that we don't actually, what it says is, while there is a value of the items in the right, we value items on the left more. So these are the values on the right, and these are the values on the left, right? We definitely need this, but our focus is mostly on this. Maybe in the working software also, we do instead of doing comprehensive documentation, we do just-in-time documentation. We can, like, maybe interfaces, or maybe whatever some rules and regulations, some rules, right? Whatever it is, workflow and all, we do it. So I think Sandy, you are coming from, I think we both are coming from waterfall world, right? What kind of documentation we are doing in the waterfall? Sital, even Sitaram. Sitaram?
Yeah.
What kind of
Waterfall is, it is normal, the entire process we used to do. But in waterfall, at the end of stage by stage, we are not taking entire ship first starting and at the end of the last. Only again we will take up the what is happening like that.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm saying is, what are the documents we are actually doing in the case of waterfall, right? Sandy?
Sorry, I didn't catch the question. What's the question?
What documents we are doing in the waterfall?
What documentation? Business plan, I would say. Highlight reports.
Yes, that is one.
Reports.
Yeah, maybe requirement documents, right? HLD, high level design document, low level design document, project plan, SOW, statement of work, test plans, test cases, right? We should do all that, right? Let's say unit test plan. Unit test plan is there, you need to write unit test cases. If functional testing is there, you have to write functional test cases. All that we used to do before even we move here, before even we move to design stage, right? We are doing too much of heavy documentation in that portion, right? So what we are doing is, we are doing very less documentation comparatively, just enough documentation which is required, right? And the customer collaboration or content negotiation, respond to change over following plan. So these 4 values is very much essential, very much important, right?
Ravi, could you give some example for process and tools also? The first one, what are the process and that we are avoiding?
Yeah, process and tool, like as I mentioned here, you have a lot of documentation there, lot of sign-offs from here to there. So a lot of sign-offs are required. I cannot move to another phase unless I have the project plan is there, SOW is there, HLD is there, LLD is there, test cases are there, test plans are there, you name it. You have configuration management. We used to have like project plan, at least the minimum of 30-40 pages, and then the project plan used to have a kind of link to HLD, LLD, requirement documents, test cases, and all that. And also, we also need to take a sign off by reading this before I move to design. And then also need a sign off from design to implementation to verification to maintenance. So we are actually, we are actually kind of elephant and 4 blind man, because we don't even know the design is correct, but we still, somebody has to go and sign up to move to next step, right? And I think yesterday somebody mentioned we used to get a payment stage wise. Requirements done 25%, then design done 25%, implementation done 25%. So basically we have already spent 75% here, only 25% left. After that only customer will get the money, because it doesn't matter, right? 75% is payment is already I received, right? So I don't know why we are doing all this. Correct? So any questions here?
Yeah, I get that sign-offs is one of the major process in waterfall. If Sandy could let us know any other tools or process involved in waterfall, just for the understanding purpose that we are avoiding in Agile.
Honestly, I'm not too sure, and I don't want to give any false information. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me also just do some. So yeah, that is what. Yeah, and then one more thing is like the timeline wise, waterfall started around 1970s, and then the spiral RAD REP started around maybe 85 time frame, and then Scrum and XP started around 1990s. And I think Kanban came somewhere here 2008. And where is our 2001? 2001 is where we are actually, we created an Agile Manifesto here, right? And then 2008, we had Kanban born. Right? This is what the timeline all about, right? And what are you doing here? Like, this is Agile, this is a kind of waterfall process. I'm doing analysis, design, development, testing, all the time doing, right? Whereas, whereas in the case of Scrum, in the case of Agile, what we are doing is we are actually doing this small piece and doing it. Here in the waterfall and other things, what is happening is here we are covering 50% of complete, but only 0% is full, right? So here what is happening is here the 20% complete, 100% is full. So Mo is right. Is Moise still there? Yeah, Moise still there? Yeah, Moise. Yeah. Moise, any questions, Moise? Sandy?
Yeah, Ravi.
Yeah, any questions, any additions?
As of now, nothing. It's clear.
Okay. And this is what is Agile Umbrella was actually. So this was Agile Umbrella, which was actually started in 2001. So all the elements came inside Agile Umbrella, right? So these are the frameworks, right? Crystal, FDD, DSDM, AUP, XP, Scrum, Scrumban. Kanban is a little tricky one. It's a more of a methodology than framework. Actually, it borrows more lean concepts than Agile actually. So we'll be covering about Kanban, Scrum, XP mostly, and we don't cover Crystal, FDD, DSDM, AUP because nobody uses in the market. And for us, even most of them think they know Scrum, they don't know. XP and Kanban is a kind of white elephants. Nobody knows anything about. They think they know, but hardly they know anything, right? So I think we saw that. Any questions so far on approaches and Agile methods?
We'll be learning about lean.
Lean very less, not too much. Scrum, extreme programming. Basically, lean is actually father of all these things. We use the lean principles only. Just in time thing, eliminate waste, all that things actually coming from lean only. Right? Right. And Sandy, you have seen this earlier. So let's
Yeah.
let's
Yes.
pick one by one. Who want to pick up this? Satisfying customers through early and continuous delivery of valuable work. Aruna, you want to explain this?
I'm sorry. You want me to explain about the principles?
Yeah.
My daughter told me, sorry.
No issue.
Okay. Satisfying customers through early and continuous delivery over valuable continuous delivery of valuable work. So this one is like every sprint we are providing some amount of valuable or working software to the customer, so they are happy about receiving some working model over. I mean, which is not happening in waterfall at all. So agile, this is one of the good principles. So next one,
Yeah, like this. We are actually trying to get a value out of it. Okay. Next one, Sandy, you want to read this out?
I think how I interpret this is like rather than working on something big, you actually take small chunks and start working on it, then obviously delivering iteratively.
Yeah, like this. So basically, I always go with the veggie burger concept. We just take a slice of it and eat, slice and eat it. So because I'm cutting across all the layers, like UI layer, database layer, backend, front end, everything we are cutting across. That's what it is. And then I think this is like recognize the best work emerges from self-organized teams. Anything, Aruna, on this? Are you still there?
pretty much what Sandy said. So breaking the bigger chunks of work into what could be done within small period of time. So we have the product backlog with um, some chunks of work that can be done within a sprint. So we just break it down to smaller tasks.
Yeah, break it. That is done. Like the second thing, third thing is recognize the best work emerges from self-organized team, right? So what's happening in the waterfall world, right? If you are a project manager, what is your typical day starts, right? Typical day is I come to work. I actually say, okay, oh, this piece, okay, Aruna, you have to start working on. Sandy, you have to work on this. And then Moise, you have to work on this. Sitaram, you have to work on this. Now, what is changing? I think running out of time, 10 minutes. I think let's see if it is over. So what we are doing is we're actually creating a self-organized team. Aruna knows where she is good at. Sandy knows where she is good at. Sitaram knows where she is good at, where he is good at. So everybody is actually taking that work and start doing it. Right? Or maybe if somebody is stuck on something, what we do is we actually all collaborate and do it. It's not your work, my work, their work. It is entirely our work, right? Again, self-organized is easy to pronounce, but it's very difficult to create the self-organized teams. Maybe out of many teams I worked with, I can hardly say like I could able to create few self-organized teams. So what about third thing? What about the fourth thing? Sandy?
Providing motivated individuals with environment and support. So this is, I think, obviously providing motivation, giving them the power to make decisions, so kind of guiding them, supporting them, providing them with the right tools, again, because if you don't have the right tools, one's not motivated, right environment. So
Providing the motivated individuals with the environment and support they need to be, again, motivated individuals, again, it's like big word. And then providing the environment and support. If you see, like I work with many companies, right? I just see it's very difficult to give us the environment required. Maybe somebody may not have permissions to do this, right? It just struggle a lot. It takes quite a while time, right? I used to work in Tech Mahindra, like we wanted some Jira kind of tool. it took 2 years to get approvals. So after that, they asked me, do you still need this? I said, thank you, we have closed the project. Right? Even it happened in British Telecom also. So all these things, it's a kind of organization blockers actually, right? And what about, and also trusting is also a very important thing. People don't trust each other. Managers don't trust teams and all that. So I think if you see this is like very good principles behind it. So implementation is definitely will take a lot of time, lot of courage in the team needs to be done, how to deliver the project, how to break the things smaller, how to create self-organizing team, and then providing, and what about creating a process that promotes sustainable efforts, right? Anything on this? Creating process that promotes sustainable efforts? I don't know.
Maybe, I mean, I'm just guessing here. Maybe things such as like Jira, such things. Obviously, you input information and it's gives you the output, so it's less effort. Writing
maybe process like who is doing what, when to do what, all that. Maybe creating some rule book, right? Like what is the definition of done, definition of ready, all that things. Creating a process to promote sustainable effort. So that maybe I need to create a road book, right? Just like you create a roadmap. If you want to go from X to Y, the Google map shows you the entire journey. Like that, as a newcomer, I also need to know everything. Or even the same guy, if you're on the same team, you should also know what is the exact process, what is the release process, what is the deployment process, what is the check-in process. Everything we need to create a better process so that we will have very good outcome. And I think maintaining constant pace for completed work. How are you achieving it in the Scrum or whatever it is? How are you getting this maintaining constant pace for completed work?
By taking an average story point or velocity throughout the sprint, not just that this sprint I have a good amount of resources and we are able to deliver a high level of story points, and the next sprint it drops down. It should be maintained in a constant pace.
So average maybe let's say we say like we just said 10 story points worth of that. It may go up and down, but otherwise we are trying to maintain the constant pace. Maybe team intake, team outtake, like if somebody is coming in, somebody is going out, we need to maintain the constant rhythm in the team, right? Have a right mix of people inside the team, right? I think we may close in 5 minutes. Okay, I think we might rejoin again. So anything on this, which one is the toughest thing to implement out of the 6 items? Which is the easiest one to implement?
I think for me it will be the third one, the toughest one.
Okay, correct. Yeah. Yes. So what about you, Aruna and Moise, Sitaram? Are able to follow?
Even first one also.
Okay.
Satisfying the customers.
Okay.
That is also one point. Because requirements, if it is keep on changing, then again for them we have to see that.
You have to say no. Okay. So you don't. Yeah. You don't want to, just there is a saying, right? If you want to impress everybody, you have to sell an ice cream. Right.
Correct. But upper management, we have to give the justification also, correct?
Yeah, correct. So basically what you are doing is, if you don't know what product we are building, right?
Yeah.
We can't build anything, right? Here also. So
exactly.
So basically I definitely need to know what needs to be delivered. Rather than I just get a product backlog, I'm always worried about clearing the product backlog, right? Instead of that, right, let's focus on what is the customer is wanting, right? Let's say, have you worked on any product without talking to customer, without understanding what is the customer problem?
No way.
If so, what is happening? So we don't deliver that product at all, right? So it's like this, you're let's say you're a French guy, you're talking to some guy in Baroda who can't even understand English, basic English, right? So forget about the understanding. It's just like, you need a couple of translators between French to English, English to the whatever the local language of that, Gujarati, right? Gujarati language and all, right? So reason I picked up Gujarati is like I work there, it's very difficult, You ask a question, they use a Google translator and translate it and then convert it back. I used to think, do you want to go for a coffee? Then they say, it used to take a lot of time to get a response. I went there and saw, he was actually copying do you want to go to coffee and then converting into Gujarati and then he's doing backwards. So Sandy, where are you from originally?
Africa.
Oh, yeah, Africa. Yeah, that name looks like, Indian. So I think we have 1 more minute to go. Anything on this? We'll rejoin quickly.
Might be I can quickly tell what is the point I would find difficult.
Which one?
The fourth one, because trusting, I do understand, and I'm a person who would be able to trust the team to work, but even Scrum Master will not have all the power in the world, right? They'll have management pressure as well. So in that case, even trusting the team and handling the management would be a tough job, I guess.
Yeah, it is, seriously. Yeah, like a sandwich between management and you have to take one or other side. It's very difficult to go along with either management or team, right? It's very difficult. I've faced this problem actually. The fourth one is also that one. Yeah. So how are you doing, Moise and Sitaram?
So from my side, it is bit understand, customer satisfaction, is a kind of challenge in the development.
Yes.
Okay, because